What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into the channel. Today I'm extremely excited to bring you guys two exclusive cards from the new set for Star Wars Unlimited Jump to Lightspeed. These are, some pretty cool cards. Thank you so much to Fantasy Flight for giving me the opportunity to go ahead and do this. I also brought in my buddy Matt, who's going to be talking about these cards with me because we are scheduled to record and we recorded some stuff and the audio died. So Matt is not joining me for this as well. Again,
which I'm happy to help.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys are new here, make sure you hit that sub button. Support is always appreciated. You guys know how it is here. And again, thank you so much to Fantasy Flight for letting me do this. Now, first off, we're going to go ahead and talk about this leader. I'm going to let Matt go ahead and look at this leader now. The cool thing about this leader is that this is actually, for those of you who know, probably who have been following me from the very beginning, Thrawn was one of the first leaders I've ever built. Okay, Thrawn yellow, vigilance, super space build, and kind of exhaust the ground over and over again and kind of beat down your opponent in space. That was the first list I ever made. So to be able to talk about this Thrawn with you guys after they just announced it is pretty cool. Also, the two cards that I have to talk to you guys about go really well with Thrawn, right? So Thrawn's ability, when you activate a on defeat ability, you can go ahead and exhaust this leader and activate it again. That leads to some really cool combos. He is a vigilance villainy leader. He comes out on 6. He's a 4/7, but that ability is actually something that is really cool in my opinion, right? You have things like Inferno 4, right? Works with that ability. You can go ahead and scry 2 twice, which allows you to really set yourself up early on in the game, kind of set yourself up for the mid game and stuff like that. Also, Ruthless Raider is really good with it. Because again, Ruthless Raider on defeat, you get to ping twice. You get to ping something for 2 and ping the base for 2. If you do that twice, you're pinging the base for 4. And then you're able to either ping 2 separate things for 2 or ping something for 4. It's a really good way to kind of remove something from the board. And again, at that point, you're also dealing 4 damage to the base. It's quite big as well. You also have, what's it called? The Fleet Interdictor. It's pretty good there, right? So it's on defeat. You go ahead and defeat 2 space units that cost 3 or less. To me, that's pretty good. You have the Zygerian Starhopper. I believe that's what it's called. Deal 2 indirect damage if you want to go yellow. You get to deal 4 indirect damage. So that's really good as well. There's other things. And then there are some fun cards, in my opinion, right? You don't want to go more control. You can go ahead and run it in green and try to, maybe flood the board. Cobb Vanth. Right? On defeat, you get to play something from your deck that costs 3 or less, right? Or 2 or less or 3 or less? Do you remember off the top of your head?
2 or less.
2 or less. Okay. Yeah, so you could potentially get something that costs 2 or less off the top of your deck and then do that again, right? So you can get 2 units on the board while just losing the 1. That's pretty good. So again, it floods the board a little bit easier with that. And then also, if you're doing that tactic, why not use Admiral Mahdi, right? You swing with everything, you bring our Admiral Mahdi, you pop Admiral Mahdi maybe, and then you go ahead and ready up 2 villainy units. And that's just a fun little tech thing that could be a lot of fun. I wish it worked with Super Laser Blast. Super Laser Technician. Don't think that's how it works. But, because it can't put itself in twice and give you an extra resource. That would be kind of funny. But honestly, I think Thrawn seemed like it could be a lot of fun. There are other on-defeat abilities. Kind of like the Starwing Scout and stuff like that. But what do you think? What do you think about Thrawn?
I think this is a really cool ability. There is like the Ruthless Raider tech is something that that actually seems really cool. Inferno 4 sometimes will be good because if you look at the top 2 and decide like, oh, these are both really good, triggering the ability again doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you a situation of being like, oh, I'm gonna look at the top 2 cards of my deck and then decide, oh, these are both garbage. Yeah. Put these on the bottom, trigger it again. That's good.
Yeah, because then you could potentially even just put another card on the bottom, and I think that there's some potential there. But again, there are a ton of on the feet.
Cycle through. But yeah, the Ruthless Raider is a big one because that's turns Ruthless Raider instead of a guaranteed 4 damage to the units, 4 damage to base to 6 damage.
Yeah, it's kind of big.
It's crazy impactful.
Yeah, so like honestly, so we're gonna get into these new cards in 1 second. I do want to also talk about the potential between the potential with Distant Patroller and Childson. Distant Patroller dying and giving Childson 2 shields sounds awful. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the new cards, what you guys have been coming for, right? We have the Onyx Squadron Brute. To me, this is a really cool card, right? It's it is a Vigilance Villainy card, 2-drop, 2/3. Goes perfectly with Thrawn here. When defeated, heal 2 from your base. With Thrawn, you're healing 4, right? That is kind of big, right? There are many ways to heal, right? You can use Vigilance. You can run this in double blue and still be able to use this. So you can heal for 4 and then Vigilance heal potentially for 9 in a turn. Like, that's kind of big if you are going the complete hard control area way with it. It's just, I don't know. I think that this card is just really solid. Again, it's nothing special on paper here, right? It's just when defeated, heal 2 from base, all this stuff. But with Thrawn, the potential is there to really make it even better, obviously. And
yeah, I really like this card. Like, this is a very nice, especially for him. That's a good tool. Like, Vigilance sometimes, like, especially those like villainy Vigilance, they sometimes struggle with keeping themselves afloat against like the aggro matchups. Something like this is being able to heal 4 when this dies probably is really good for those type of matchups.
Yeah, in my original recording, I did say how it is good to potentially stay kind of healthy when the opponent is playing Sabine and they go ahead and they use potentially a Fleet Lieutenant hit you for 5. Well, then go ahead. That gets the feed. You're going to heal 4 off of it and kind of keep yourself afloat a little bit easier. But that recording did not get to stay. But
it's unfortunate.
It's all right. Let's go ahead and hop into the next card. I think this card is this is what's going to make people want to play red, right? Ruthless Raider is really good. This is crazy with another new card, right? Drone Missile Platform. When defeated, deal 3 indirect damage. You turn that 3 into 6 with Thrawn's ability. Crazy. It's a 3-cost aggression card, 4/2. So it's a 3-drop of 4 power. So it's going to potentially be trading into most anything that's played early on in the game, which is good. That 2 HP makes it easy to defeat. And even with you trading with something and getting defeated, you're still dealing 3 indirect damage, and that's non-preventable, right? Oh, I have a shield. I can just go ahead and deal 3 to my shield. No, it goes through the shield. So then indirect damage to me, right, in Destiny was pretty solid. I think it's going to be the same thing here. It forces your opponents to make those hard decisions, whether or not to deal it into their units, making it easier for you to trade into them in a deck like this with more pinging like a Ruthless Raider or anything like that, or just take it all to base. And that's the hard decision that's going to really shake up a lot of things. This plus...
the Hunting Aggressor?
Yes, the Hunting Aggressor. Yes, so that with the Hunting Aggressor, that's what I originally had in my notes here. The Hunting Aggressor, it's now a 4 indirect damage that becomes 8. That's
a big swing.
Yeah, if you have it, like, let's say that you have the initiative and you play this on turn 2 and then you play the Hunting Aggressor before your opponent can take it out, you're swinging 8 indirect damage on turn 3, and that's pretty big just to be able to do that at a turn. Like, again, it's a control deck that can potentially just still deal out a ton of damage with indirect damage with this, and I think it's again with Thrawn super strong. What do you think?
No, I think these again aggression cards seem to be really leaning into the indirect damage archetype for this set, and Thrawn being able to make this do 6 damage on turn. Like, we've already seen, I've talked about it with you, not on screen, but talked about how, like, these instances of large amounts of indirect damage are potentially very powerful.
Yeah.
Things like Planetary Bombardment, able to do, like, massive amounts of damage, and that, like, even if your opponent, like, tries to divvy it up so they don't just take, a 12 hit to the face, it's a board clear in a lot of scenarios. And Thrawn kind of, with cards like this missile platform, can do similar things. Because getting 6 indirect damage off, I think your opponent's probably either losing something or taking a good chunk to base.
Yeah, and not only that,
not a good scenario for it.
Yeah, not only that, right? You can go ahead and have Ruthless Raider and then Planetary Bombardment and then blow up the Ruthless Raider. So you're dealing the 12 from the Planetary Bombardment, and then you're dealing the extra 4 into base and 4 across the board again after the fact that just nuked everything on the board. So it's like, yeah, there's some cool combos. It does seem like Thrawn's going to be a really solid list with aggression, but I think that we talked enough about these cards. We're going to talk about more about these cards in a later video. I don't want to drag this out too long for you guys. Again, if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that sub button. Support is always appreciated. Thank you again to Fantasy Flight for giving me the opportunity to talk about these cards. Thank you for Matt for joining me because we botched up our audio in our other videos. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the next video. We'll see you guys next time.